Following through on their threats, Dominion Voting Systems has launched another defamation suit, this time against Fox News over their election coverage, which, if you can call it coverage, mainly it's just fear-mongering and stuff like that. But Dominion argues that Fox, which amplified inaccurate assertions that Dominion altered votes, sold a false story of election fraud in order to serve its own commercial purposes, severely injuring Dominion in the process, according to a copy of the lawsuit obtained by the Associated Press. Dominion, of course, being a voting machine company, was the target of online conspiracies that alleged that they were, of course, that and the software. And then there's another company, of course, that's related, Smartmatic, that is also suing Fox News, by the way. The conspiracies involve Dominion. Talk about how, it's the software is designed by Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez in order to steal the elections for the express purposes of rigging elections. And somehow Biden, since he's a avowed communist, obviously, I know I cringe even saying those words, but they believe it. They believe it. They say that, he then looked at this and said, I'm going to use that in the 2020 election. But wait a minute. Why didn't Hillary use it in 2016? Doesn't make any sense, does it? But no, none of this makes any sense. Okay, so obviously, no, there was no election fraud. They did not literally change votes from Trump to Biden. That did not actually happen. Multiple investigations proved there was no widespread fraud in the 2020 election at all. Even Trump's Attorney General, William Barr, confirmed this. Then you had Republican governors in Arizona and Georgia vouching for the integrity of the elections in their states. Even though, of course, that these Republicans have every reason to want to find fraud. Why? Well, because the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, just signed a massive, sweeping restriction of voting in his state. They don't want people voting. They want excuses to institute these laws that shut down voting. And again, if Republicans can't find voter fraud, people who are incentivized to do it, well, then obviously it doesn't seem to exist. Now, and again, the reason that I say that Republicans want this is because, again, those voter ID laws, those draconian laws, without it, none of their arguments have any merit. There would be absolutely no reason to do these voter fraud. Not that, of course, voter fraud laws or voter ID laws, I should say, not that it stops them from passing them anyway, but if they had some, they could point out some examples in order to try to get their laws a little, at least the air of somewhat legitimacy, but they don't have any. And really right now, it's just a textbook definition of voter suppression. Still, there were Fox News hosts that continued to elevate the false charges. I mean, again, you have Maria Bartiromo. She was one of the big purveyors of the big lie. Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, all that. All right. And they brought on people like Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, the MyPillow guy. And so on and on and on. They pushed this lie. Now, Dominion said in the lawsuit that it repeatedly tried to set the record straight with Fox News, even warning Fox News, saying, hey, please don't do that. This is not what's going on. No, we're not run by the ghost of Hugo Chavez. We're not trying to rig the election. We just want to make money. We just want to make money by selling voting machines. And when you keep lying about us, well, then that impacts our profit motives. Our profit margins are harmed when you lie about us like this. If you don't stop a lying, we're going to have to come after you. And, well, that's what happened. So now they also say that the channel pushed false claims to explain away the former president's loss, of course, and add that Fox News behavior differed greatly from that of other media outlets that reported on the claims. This was a conscious, knowing business decision to endorse and repeat and broadcast these lies in order to keep its viewership, according to attorney Justin Nelson of Sussman Godfrey, LLC, one of their lawyers. Look, here's the thing. About half of all Republicans right now, almost, do not see Joe Biden as the legitimate president. That's insane. That's crazy. He's the president, whether you like it or not. And for the record, let's be fair, I also thought it was kind of stupid when the libs, after Donald Trump won, were saying, oh, it's not my president. It's not my president. No, he literally is. I'm sorry, but Hillary Clinton also lost. Her hubris cost her and us dearly. But she lost the election fair and square. Yes, were there social media memes, and troll farms by the Russians? Yes, there were, but there were no votes that were changed. There was no election fraud. There was no voter fraud. And so, ironically, Trump supporters have now taken that argument, and taken the "not my president" to an extreme. And not only do not believe that Joe Biden is president, but they also, as a result of this, tried to overturn the election results by invading the Capitol. That is something the most ardent, I'm with her Hillary person would never consider doing. Never. You know what they did instead? They held protests. They held the Women's March. 100% fine. And if Trump supporters wanted to hold a million MAGA march that was entirely peaceful, would have been fine. And we probably would have laughed because it would have been nowhere near a million people. But, hey, at least you're doing it peacefully. That's totally fine. But we see what happened when the MAGA chuds got together on January 6th. It was not peaceful. Now, my point is, of course, and I kind of took a roundabout way to get to it, is that the extreme MAGA people won't accept a media station that admits that Donald Trump lost fair and square, because they've shown that already they will abandon Fox News and go to Newsmax, OANN, and other outlets that are more than willing to say whatever they want for a buck. These are people that want confirmation bias. They do not want facts. They don't want factual information. They want confirmation bias. They want the things that they already believe to be regurgitated back to them. They do not want to hear facts. They do not want to hear data. They want to hear that, no, everything that you were thinking, you were right. Oh, you're right because you were smarter, you were better, you were more special. And so, forget all those, fancy experts with their little degrees. No. You, MAGA guy, sitting at home with your truck nuts and your hat, you were right. You were better than them. That's what they want to hear. That's why they tune into Fox News, because they want to be told over and over that they're special, and yet they call us snowflakes, which is the most hilarious thing that I've ever heard coming from the mouth of a MAGA guy. And so, anyway, now Fox News is a business. We know that. They're a corporation. Just like MSNBC is a corporation, NBC, CNN, they want to make money, right? I don't think, I think you should be able to make money off your opinions and doing opinion pieces. But when you do straight news, I don't know. I don't think the straight news should be a corporation. That's my opinion. Okay. Nonetheless, Fox News, being a corporation, did not want to lose viewers. So here we are. They made the decision. Well, our viewers really want to hear this, and we were set up to be propaganda for the Republican Party anyway. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pander to our audience. Congratulations. This is what happens. And the results, of course, for the workers in the company are undeniable. And I mean for Dominion. Okay, the results of this for Dominion were absolutely disastrous. It is now widely targeted in conservative circles, seen by millions of people as one of the main villains in a tale in which Democrats nationwide conspired to steal the votes from Trump, according to the lawsuit. Dominion's employees, from its software engineers to its founder, have been harassed, targeted. Many were given death threats, and the company itself has suffered enormous and irreparable economic harm. As I've explained, if you're a voting company, or if you're a company that creates voting machines, and you have almost half the voting population, millions of MAGA supporters, Trump supporters, and then state governors that are like thinking that you are rigging the votes, that's going to impact your business. That's going to impact your bottom line. And again, there's one thing corporations can't handle. It's something impacting their bottom line. And so that's why I say this is a pretty solid case. This is a pretty solid case. They've got a good case. That's why it's full speed ahead. That's why they're suing Giuliani. That's why they're suing, Powell. That's why they're suing Sidney Powell, the MyPillow guy. And more lawsuits could be coming. Dominion lawyers said they have not filed lawsuits yet against specific media personalities, but the door, they say, remains open. So who knows? Who knows when that's coming? And some at Fox News, by the way, knew the claims were false, but their comments were drowned out, according to lawyers. The buck stops with Fox on this, according to attorney Stephen Shackelford. Fox chose to put this on all of its many platforms. They rebroadcast, republished on social media, and in many other places. And Fox News, by the way, Fox News is the biggest cable news outlet in the country. So that's why this has such a devastating impact. And it would be different for somebody like compared to someone like me, right? So I have a relatively small following compared to Fox News. I have 163,000 subscribers versus millions and millions of people that watch Fox News on a nightly basis. So my reach, if I were to say something like that, that's not going to have that big of a harm on, this company's economic outlook. Okay. If anything, it's dismissed as fringe conspiracy, which, if I were saying stuff like that, it would be. But when Fox News is saying it with so much viewership, so much reach, it's undeniable that there is danger to this. There has been damage that has been done to this company, and not just the company, by the way, but also the country as a whole, as now you have millions of people, tens of millions of people who don't believe in our electoral system anymore. And so I do hope the company wins, and it takes all these people, the Fox News people, the MyPillow guy. I hope this company takes them to the cleaners. They probably won't. I'm sure there will be a settlement outside of court or something like that for, some millions of dollars. Keeping it real. But in a just world, which we do not live in, obviously, Fox News would pay a steep price for spreading disinformation and would be forced to change. Again, I wish we lived in that world. We don't. But, some sort of settlement, some sort of punishment, and maybe a change in the law, bringing back like the fairness doctrine or something like that, something to where people cannot just spread these outright lies on the air. That would be a nice way to go. That's what I would want to do. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.